Hello, good evening. Thanks for joining us. Making the Nigerian oil and gas industry operational climate and investment environment conducive and inviting continues to be pursued by the NNPC intensively and equally as the communication marketing of these efforts. CERAWeek in Houston, USA is the latest auspicious platform for NNPC's GMD Dr. Mekanti Barrow to engage foreign investors. Ready for Business also is a thought and plan for condensate refineries, which had been in the pipeline for some time now. But some projects have got ahead in other spheres of the sector, like the Shakespearean tide that has led on to good fortunes. We're talking about investment decisions that is valued at over $20 billion in the oil sector. NCDMB has been tracking this with more dimensions to the story. Plus, OPEC is taking in its stride the perceptible effects of President Donald Trump's social media comment as it concerns oil volatility ahead of its next meeting. Thanks for joining us. I'm Akin Agbijile. This is Oil and Gas Forum.
And let me conclude by thanking the management of the NNPC under Dr. Barrow. I just read where you said that the NNPC had concluded arrangements to establish some medical centers in the country. Here you have my total support, and I thank you for this initiative.
Called black gold. There is plenty money in this business. By this time tomorrow, I'm going to buy a brand new jeep. Next month, I'm going to buy a whole house. Yes.
You need to show me the way.
Show us the way. You mean you want to be rich? Oh yes. You want to level up? Oh yes. You see, the ones there. Let's go and pack it. And after that, I will take you there. Let's go.
Hello? Okay. So, sir, these people have started their operation again. I beg, send me 5 battalion FG guys. Thank you, sir. So, sir,
you can buy everything you want to buy.
I will buy it. You are under arrest. Your hand on your head. If you move, I move you. Let me warn you all. Anybody or community that is involved in vandalization of our oil pipeline will face the wrath of the law.
NNPC. We touch your lives in many positive ways.
Highlights. Dr. Mekanti Barrow woos foreign investors at CERAWeek in Houston. Visibility studies concluded for condensate refineries looking to shore up domestic refining capacity. New investments worth $20 billion coming, and CDMB is keeping an eye on this. OPEC is looking at social media messages complicating oil volatility, expecting to engage these issues at its next meeting. We'll be back.
The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Barrow, has called for more integration among countries within the West African sub-region towards providing lasting solutions to the region's numerous energy challenges. Dr. Barrow made the call during a meeting with the United States Energy Secretary, Rick Perry, and some African petroleum ministers on the sidelines of the 19th CERAWeek conference in Houston, United States. Dr. Barrow disclosed at the meeting that energy integration across the sub-region was necessary, as it would drastically reduce unemployment and restiveness, as well as improve the economies of the affected countries. He said the intent was to come up with a West African power pool that would put up power plants and other gas-based industries along those areas within the respective countries. The GMD said Nigeria's crude oil production had seen tremendous improvement in recent years due to federal government's laudable efforts in assuring security in the Niger Delta region. He said Nigeria and US had been very good partners with about $35 billion worth of trade between the two countries. Earlier in his remarks, the United States Secretary of Energy, Rick Perry, expressed his country's commitment towards helping Africa achieve energy independence for the benefit of their people. Describing innovation as the surest path to energy security, Perry added that once countries innovate, they are greeted with greater economic growth, opportunities, and national security. He said as the #1 producer of oil and natural gas in the world, the U.S. was more than well positioned to not only share its resources, but also its technology and know-how. He said his country would work towards transforming Africa's domestic energy systems so that it would provide power, create jobs, foster development, open up new opportunities, and improve almost every facet of human existence on the continent. Other ministers and high-level energy executives from African countries such as Ghana, Mali, South Sudan, Namibia, Kenya, Uganda, and Sierra Leone participated in the meeting. The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, has stated that more than 41 billion barrels of crude oil and 319 trillion cubic feet of gas are yet to be discovered in sub-Saharan Africa. The NNPC GMD stated this from available information. The African global crude oil and gas outlook remained positive and on the upward trajectory, saying the West Africa as a sub-region held the ace in terms of offshore deep-water exploration hotspots. Dr. Baru made this disclosure during a special session on Africa entitled Foundations for New Investment at the just concluded 19th CERAWeek conference in Houston, United States. He stated that a prolific 1.0 billion barrels of crude oil was recently discovered at the Owowo field offshore Nigeria. He called on foreign investors to explore the Nigerian ultra-deep terrain, which he described as largely untested. Dr. Baru told his audience that in Nigeria, NNPC was currently drilling Kolmani River 2 well in the Benue Trough, one of Nigeria's several frontier inland basins with about 400 billion cubic feet of gas expected to be encountered.
In terms of those who are producing, like Nigeria, we need to push for more exploration and ensure that the reserves production ratios are improved upon so that we have more reserves to replace the production bill.
The occasion also provided an opportunity for the NNPC GMD to make a case for the domestication of oil and gas technologies within the African continent. According to the GMD, African countries must react positively to the new reality by deploying new policies and stabilize their business environment to attract meaningful investments. He said critical to achieving that for Nigeria was the passage of the 4 components of the Petroleum Industry Governance Bill, PIGB, which is expected to usher in a new legislation that will not only enhance the investment climate in the country, but also change the fortunes of the nation's oil and gas business for the better. Baru informed delegates at the conference that the NNPC was opening up its business environment to ensure transparency and accountability in its dealing with all stakeholders. He also lauded the federal government for its peace initiatives in the Niger Delta communities, which he said has seen the country hitting very high oil and gas production figures in recent years. Ministers and high-level energy executives from Mali, Somalia, Namibia, and Uganda were among panelists at the special session. Organized by IHS Markit, CERAWeek is a global platform on energy trends and public policy, where over 4,000 oil and gas experts convene annually to debate the future of oil, natural gas, renewable energy, power, and new technologies.
The Secretary General of Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, Dr. Mohamed Barkindo, said President Donald Trump's critical tweets, often broadcast when crude oil prices rise, had always complicated oil markets. The social media comments are among the various factors OPEC has been trying to juggle as it looks to stabilize markets in the face of the U.S. shale boom. Still, even though Trump's tweets can make crude oil prices wobble, he added that he welcomed U.S. President's engagement. OPEC will meet in April to decide if it should extend or scale back its deal with top non-producers to cap production by 1.2 million barrels per day to prop up crude oil prices. But Trump's tweeting isn't alone in causing instability in crude oil prices. Barkindo said the Trump administration's waivers to U.S. sanctions on Iranian oil have added to uncertainty. China and India, the top two importers of Iranian oil, are among 8 countries that received temporary waivers on Iran sanctions. The waivers will expire in May, and it's unclear which, if any, country would get an extension. But Barkindo warned that the OPEC legislation as it stands would not serve the best interests of the United States. It would also usurp the interests of the oil and gas industry that has seen such a remarkable rebound, he said. As part of concerted efforts to increase the nation's domestic refining capacity, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has concluded the feasibility studies on the proposed condensate refineries. Group General Manager, Greenfield Refineries Division, Engineer Mohammed Usman, made this disclosure in an interview with the Oil and Gas Forum crew in Abuja. He said the setting up of the proposed condensate refineries by the NNPC was part of the long-term plan to ensure that the nation attains sufficient internal refining capacity.
It's supposed to be a condensate refinery, actually sets of condensate refineries, because Nigeria, has a lot of not only oil but also condensate, which can be associated with gas in particular. But there are some that are raw condensate oil that you get. And when we produce condensate normally, what we do now in Nigeria, we spike condensate into crude oil and sell as crude oil. And that one increases the volume of the crude oil that we export. But as per OPEC quota, condensate is not supposed to be included. So we are losing some volumes of crude oil. That is one reason why NNPC decided that condensate should be removed from the crude oil and see if we can add value to that one.
Engineer Usman noted that Nigeria had a lot of condensate, which is like gas in liquid form, stressing that the condensate refineries project was a very viable option to guarantee energy sufficiency for the country. He added that the mandate of his division also included providing technical support for the establishment of new refineries in Nigeria. He explained that condensate refineries are usually small refineries that are constructed on an oil field, easy to deploy and with little complexity.
To do a condensate refinery, it will be much easier than a conventional crude oil refinery. It's not going to be as complex and it's not going to be as expensive as the conventional refinery. For crude oil refinery, as we said, is crude oil. Crude oil has ranging from some gases to LPGs, as you know, to what we call PMS, to kerosene, to AGO, and then fuel oil. But in the condensate, the bulk of it is largely PMS, with some little of the other components, very, very little.
Oil majors are taking bold investment decisions valued at over $20 billion, the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, has revealed. Executive Secretary of the NCDMB, Simbi Wabote, said at a press conference in Lagos that over the next few months, international oil companies, IOCs, through their local subsidiaries, would be taking final investment decisions, FID, on 8 new projects that would impact on Nigeria's oil reserves and production. Wabote listed the projects all in the Nigerian deep water zone to include Ikike and Prioway oil field, developed by the Francis Total, ExxonMobil's Ebot project, and the Abo project owned by the Nigerian Ajib Oil Company, NAOC. He noted that already Shell Petroleum Development Company, SPDC, had taken FID on Asa North project, stressing that Asa North project was one of those opportunities highlighted during the fair. It has a value of almost $2 billion. The Executive Secretary of the NCDMB stated that the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, NPDC, was commissioning a significant project worth almost about $200 million, assuring that the project would add value to the oil and gas industry. Making reference to a resolution of one of the major challenges that stunted growth in the industry, The NCDMB Executive Secretary projected that oil and gas investments would double in the next 2 years. Wabote projected that all would be well in the industry, with fundamental challenges of the sector, like the cash call issues, being fully addressed squarely.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, says it has opened its portal for recruitment of fresh graduates and experienced professionals into the system. Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Ndu Uhamadu, confirmed the recruitment in Abuja. He said that the portal for the recruitment was open on Wednesday, 13th of March, and will close on the 26th March 2019, adding that the recruitment portal address is careers.nnpcgroup.com. Uhamadu said that the recruitment would be in 3 categories of fresh graduates, senior officers, supervisory cadre, and managerial cadre. He added that successful professionals in sciences, engineering, business management, social sciences, arts, humanities, and law would be recruited at the end of the exercise to energize the system.
NNPC is an organization that is sincerely, genuinely interested in improving the lives of young people in many positive ways through investing in their intellectual capacity, investing in their education, I would say preparing them for leadership and the willingness to dive and take up opportunities.
NNPC, we touch your lives in many positive ways.
Hello and welcome to the feedback segment of the program. My name is Julia Auta. The mission of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, is to add value to the nation's hydrocarbon resources for the benefit of all Nigerians and other stakeholders. Today, our roving camera is on the streets to find out from Nigerians how has the NNPC performed in the last 3 years.
One of the things I've noticed for the past 3 years is constant fuel supply in the country. Because for the past 3 years, we've not been noticing queues at the filling stations. So you can easily drive into the filling station and then buy fuel.
Actually, there are no words enough to describe, the GND of NNPC. In fact, he has been doing a lot of things all over the country, and they are also visible. But this one is something else, I think that this is, an indication that we have gotten a round peg in a round hole.
That's going to do a lot of things to help the national reserve and also increase the production level. You can see the commitment of Mr. President, the Minister of State, the GMD, and even with we, Pengaston and major stakeholders, that believe that everything will go well. The most important thing about job creation, wealth creation, and let Nigerians see the benefits of being an oil-producing country.
That Nigeria produces crude oil, and by crude oil, Nigeria is one of the oil-producing nations of the world.
They are trying. I can see the consistency in the parts of the NNPC. Unlike before, scarcity was the order of the day, but this government has been able to curb the fuel issues.
NNPC, they have done a great job in Nigeria in terms of the improvement of Nigeria economy.
Petrol has been readily available to customers. That is one area they have tried.
NNPC, they are doing a great job, and thank God for them. Nigerians, let's celebrate them. Let's encourage them more. God bless Nigeria. God bless NNPC.
The responses are quite insightful and responsive, you would say. This is the much we can accommodate on these episodes of the program. Please stay tuned.
As a beneficiary of the funds that NNPC disbursed as part of this competition, I can definitely say that it has been a very positive contributor to my life. I think that I was able to afford university, I was able to pay for books because I was a part of this competition, and it inspired me to continue to work hard in my chosen endeavor.
NNPC, we touch your lives in many positive ways.
Hello and welcome to this informative segment of the program. I am Tola Bobuade. Did you know that the first exploration of oil and gas in Nigeria territory took place in 1908? Did you know that the Nigerian mining regulation via Oil Ordinance of 1907 was set for drilling 15 wells between the Lekki Lagoon and the Niger Delta? Did you also know that the outbreak of the First World War in 1914 dampened the inquest for oil in Nigeria? The Royal Dutch Company drilled 13 new oil wells between 1953 and 1955. Did you know that the first commercial oil find was made at Oloibiri in 1956 in present-day Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State? Did you also know that the first Nigeria's commercial production in 1958 yielded a paltry 5,100 barrels of crude oil per day, and this figure doubled the following year as more fields were discovered? Now you know. Please stay tuned for the rest of the program.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. All futures reached 4-month highs boosted by tightened global supply and a monthly report by the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, which built a case to extend production cuts beyond June. Brent crude hit a 2019 peak of $68.14 per barrel before falling to $67.93, up 38 cents or 0.56%. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were at $58.54 per barrel, up 28 cents or 0.48%. OPEC and some non-aligned producers, including Russia, have been withholding oil supply since the start of the year to tighten global markets. In its monthly report released Thursday, the group cut the forecast of demand for its crude this year and predicted strong growth in non-OPEC supply. Meanwhile, U.S. sanctions have helped slash output from OPEC members Venezuela and Iran. Amid political turmoil in Venezuela, 2 storage tanks exploded at a heavy crude upgrading project in the east of the country Wednesday, according to an oil industry source. A report that a meeting between the U.S. and Chinese presidents to resolve a trade dispute had been delayed sent prices briefly down earlier. A continuation of the tariff war between the world's top 2 economies could dent growth in fuel demand and prices. And that's it on this segment of the program. My name is Solomon Yopave.
No panic to buy fuel for black market. NNPC go bring fuel for all motorists.
NNPC say them get fuel jabrata for ground. Saboteur. All of una wey dey tiff with fuel and petroleum station where they hot smuggle and divert our fuel go neighboring country. Plus people where they build small tank and sell fuel past our government price of 145 naira per liter. Stop am o. Because why? Now big offense now. Now jail straight away. NNPC say our government no increase fuel price. Now still 145 naira per liter. So therefore no buy black market, no do panic buying, and no fuel day we go round. Nigerians, if you see any petrol station where they sell fuel past our government price of 145 naira per liter, kia report to the nearest security agency when near you or the Department of Petroleum Resources. Na Ndu Ohamado, Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, NNPC, signed this message.
I'm very impressed with the GMD in the way he's always conducted himself. He's aware of every other issue. For any area you mention, he's abreast. He reels out all the data. He knows his knowledge within the industry is phenomenal, and I would like to commend him and also to learn from him on how he's able to do that.
That's been Oil and Gas Forum for this week. Plenty of takeaways. Have yourself an exciting week. Keep the date for next week. Bye.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
This is the network service of the NTA.